Welcome back to Music and Media Entrepreneurship. In the last video, we talked about team building, and in this video, we're going to be talking about networking. If you already saw the team building video, great. If you didn't, you should go back and watch that first. But I'm assuming that since you're here, you saw it, so I want to pose a question before we dive in today. What do team building and networking have in common? In my mind, both of those things require you to be able to reach and connect with a diverse group of people and learn how to support their interests in a meaningful way. So just like you want the team members that you have to find value in what you're doing, you want anyone you're networking with to feel like their interests are being met, their needs are being met, and it provides value to them. Otherwise, there are so many other opportunities in music and in media and online for people to be involved with that they probably will just move on to the next one. So the first thing you need to do when you're networking is to find the people. And how do you do that? Sometimes you have a built-in group already. If you're a part of a ministry or a school, you might have peers or other people around you who are already looking for a place to be connected, but you may not have that resource. So you need to go where the people are. And that can look like actually physically going to, sometimes there are networking meetings or conferences or even luncheons that are tailored to certain people's industries or things that they pursue. But you can also go online. And I'm going to focus on that one today because while this video is being recorded, we are all in the middle of social distancing or sheltering in place. And you have to be a little bit more creative when you want to connect with people if you're going online. You might feel like going online is easier to network because everyone's already there or they're already looking for something, but it kind of works against you too, because when everyone's online, they have way too many resources, just like we talked about before. So if you don't catch their interest immediately or make them feel like you're different or offer something more valuable to them, they're not going to stay interested for very long. That scroll past feature that everything has built into it can really work against you. Whether you're online or you're in person, you want to make sure that you are targeting the type of people who you would want to connect with. So that could sometimes online look like joining groups of people virtually who are pursuing the same things as you, or maybe posting content with hashtags that target the group of people you're trying to reach. It could also mean posting content that is more likely to be seen or consumed by the people you want to reach. For example, if you are networking to build an audience, then maybe you want to share music, if you're a musician, of your songs or maybe a live performance, and ask a few people who are already in your industry who already support you to share. That way you are not only reaching them, but you're reaching their friends. That's not necessarily networking, but it is a starting point. Online networking really happens when you start interacting with an individual person, just like it would if you were to go and shake someone's hand. So the first thing you want to do when you're networking online is do something that will pique someone's interest. But then the follow-up is where that networking happens. So if they comment or they like or they share something that you post, then you might reach out to them either in the comment section or maybe message them and say, hey, thanks so much for sharing. I'd love to hear what you're working on in music, or build that conversation that allows them to share their interests and their needs. Why? Because you want to help meet those interests and needs. That's how you build a team. That's how you build supporters in a network. So that's just sort of how that interaction would start. And as you guys are talking, you can also share what you're doing and let them know, hey, that's so crazy that you're a recording engineer because I'm looking for someone to record this song, and go from there. So the next step actually to go from there is to start building trust in a professional way with this person. Having the time to talk to them or to reach out to them with more meaningful content, or to maybe even find time to meet up and work together or do a virtual call and talk more about what you're hoping to accomplish, can start to build that relationship in a professional way that allows you to build trust and some mutual loyalty to each other. So there might be 20, if we're going with the musician example, there might be 20 other recording engineers in your area, but if you have a relationship with someone already, then you've built some loyalty. So it's easier to stick with them and continue to support what they want to do, just like they're supporting what you want to do. The next thing to think about when you're networking, whether it's online or in person, is to really protect your time. It's easy to get lost in conversations or in scrolling through different posts and not realize that you're totally not meeting your goal of connecting with people or reaching potential audiences or team members or colleagues. So make sure that if you get into a conversation or maybe a thread that is not as valuable or meaningful, maybe it's entertaining, but it's not meeting your goal, that you get out of it quickly. So don't be rude, but just don't allow that to take up more of your time. If you're in person, maybe saying, oh, well, it was so nice to meet you. I am being honest, because you're often networking in in-person events. So be honest. Let them know that you need to meet some other people too. Or online, it's really easy. Just get out of that thread or refocus to something that's valuable and meaningful to you. So protect your time, maybe set a time limit on how long you'll talk to someone or how long you'll be in a certain group or on a certain thread before moving on to the next one, so that you don't spend hours doing something that isn't going to really be beneficial to you or the people that you're interacting with. Something that you'll find when you're working online specifically is that it can be slow to start in momentum when you're trying to network with people. This is true in person too, but just remember that consistency is really key in building an online presence and in building an online network. So similar to how you're going to protect your time, also set aside time, maybe every other day or once or twice a week, to intentionally reach out to people individually who you want to connect with. This will help you to build those strong connections and really focus in on relationships that might be meaningful or valuable to you. So I hope that these tips will help you a little bit with networking. Just remember that the most important thing to do is to have a personal connection with someone and to start the conversation online with content that is mutually interesting. So be really strategic in what you're sharing and in what you're communicating if you are looking to network with like-minded people online.